I'm fine.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV. I'm out here in Saudi Arabia, delighted to be joined by the big man himself, Joseph Parker. You're back. You were only here a couple of 7 weeks ago, or 6 weeks ago.
The big man.
The big man, yeah, the big man. I'm the wee man, you're the big man.
I feel like a small heavyweight compared to the other heavyweights.
But compared to me,
I'm not a big man.
But compared to me,
Compared to you, I'm a massive man.
so let's talk about it, man. You've been, this is like what, back in Saudi Arabia after what, the last one, end of October here. You had a good, solid win there. You're up against Deontay Wilder. You're just going to continue that streak, are you not?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. You know, lock in these fights, train hard, and go out there and win. It's very important for me to go out there and put on a good display, the display that I know I can put on from what we've been doing in training, and just continuing this momentum and good work.
I done a Zoom interview with Wilder last week, and when I mentioned, when boxing fans and media guys, we like to analyse fights, we like to look at what's going on in the big picture. Now, when we look at Deontay Wilder, we'll say he's had less than a round in 2 years. When we look at Joseph Parker, we'll say he's had 3 fights in a year, 2 of them being knockouts. Good solid knockouts as well. So can we read too much into that? Is that going to be a benefit to you?
I think you can read too much into it. With my experience, keeping busy is great for me. So I'm very excited with the momentum that we've had this year and leading into this fight with Deontay Wilder. With him, he hasn't been busy himself, but we'll soon find out. You know, I think a lot of fighters do get ring rust, but he's been a champion for a long time and he's got a lot of experience. So I'm sure he knows, him and his team know what they're doing to prepare for this, even though they haven't fought for a long time.
Well, he basically said the same thing as you, but he said, who did you fight in them 3 fights? Are they going to benefit you? Are they going to elevate your career to where you need to beat him? That's kind of what Wilder said. I guess you agree with that.
Well, I agree with
that the 3 fights leading up to Wilder fight, because Wilder is obviously the ex-world champion and whatnot, that those 3 fights that you've had this year?
It's not the same level of position, but it's great fights to lead me into this big fight. And it's great fights to get out there and keep busy. And again, momentum and being constantly in camp, learning, progressing and working on skills and techniques with Andy, doing some great work with George, Lockhart. So I feel like I got good momentum and I feel supremely confident going into this fight.
What I like about Andy, I spoke to him out in Dublin about this fight, and obviously Andy's got a boxing brain and he won't give too much, but he gives you little tricks. He just gives you little bits of how do you win this fight. But jokingly he said to me, when I asked him, how does Joe win this fight? And simply he put it, stay away from the right hand. Now, Joe, it's a 12-round fight. It's 36 minutes. Can you do it for 36 minutes?
It's simple. It's that simple. Even I said to Tyson, what's some advice you can give? He just said, stay away from the right hand and don't get knocked out. So it is that simple. But it's 12 rounds, and he is dangerous for every round. And I just have to be switched on, which I know I can be, and I will be.
Joe, when we look at Tyson Fury's wins over Deontay Wilder, now we look at Tyson using his size. He was leaning on Wilder, maybe taking his legs away from him when it came to the later rounds. You said yourself before we started, during this interview, that you're not the biggest heavyweight, but you probably will be heavier than Wilder going into this fight. Could you use that to your advantage?
I will be heavier, but whatever, like Tyson's 6'9", with the long reach, and he's got, 270 pounds. So Tyson's, plan going into the fight will be different from ours. I'm going to use whatever I have to my advantage. I got good speed, good movement, and I do have power myself. So just going to use that to the best of my ability and perform very well.
You said you've got power yourself. That being said, can you knock Wilder out?
I can. Every heavyweight can knock out any heavyweight. It's just about timing and precision and landing it clean in the right places.
You make it sound simple. You're making me think like I can go in the ring myself and have a fight now, Joe.
It's very simple. Boxing is simple. You train hard, spar, eat good food, rest well, get massages here and there, and then fight hard. It's not that hard, but it's being a parent is harder. Yeah.
How many kids you got?
I've got 4 kids and 1 on the way.
5.
So the 5th one on the way. Good. So I just, what I want to do is go out there. I know what I can do in the ring. And I back myself 100%. I always do. And I'm supremely confident. I've done some great work. Put on a good display of boxing, catch them, and then fly home and celebrate with the family. That's it.
My question for everybody this week has been, who has the toughest fight? Because this fight was going to be centred around that Joshua Wilder fight, if it happens, if they beat you and Otto Wallen. Now my question's been to the guys, who has the toughest fight, Joshua or Wilder? When you look at this fight, obviously it might be a weird question for you to answer, but do you think you're a tougher fight for Wilder than Wallen is for Joshua?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. My opinion is that I'm just focused on my fight, and I know there's some big fights on this card, and it's a great card to be involved in, and great work from Saudi Arabia to come together and put this fight on, this big event. But I'm not sure who's the harder fight. But all I know is that I have a tough fight in front of me. I have a good challenge, and I'm up for it. And I've done everything right in this camp to perform well.
Obviously, this is, again, it's probably a Monday morning question, but you beat Wilder. What is next for you, man? Where do you go from there? Obviously, you beat probably one of the top three, well, is one of the top three in the world right now in Deontay Wilder. Top four if you include Joshua as well, and Usyk and Fury. You beat them. Where does that put you? Is that dream of a world title, is that still in your mind right now?
Yeah, all the world title dreams are there. Fighting, there's more big fights to happen, but everything is off this fight. This is a must win, you know. So win this and then everything else flows.
Can I ask you about Australasia boxing? Now, you're probably 34 years old now, are you? 31. Geez, sorry, I do apologise. Now, you I'm trying to make myself feel better, Joe, because I'm 41. You're 31 years old, but it seems like you've been around for a long time. But when
Years and years and years.
Well, that's why I thought you were 34. That's my excuse. But when you look at Australasia boxing right now, you've got like Jai Apataya, you've got Junior Farr, you've got Mark Demori alone on this card as well yourself. Then you've got Liam Paro had a fantastic win out of against Montana Love. You've got Tim Tszyu doing his thing. I mean, his brother Nikita. You've got Ebony Bridges. You've got women boxing. You've got Sky Nicholson. Now I'm looking at that Australasia boxing. I'm like, wait, what's happened? Where's it all come from? I mean, it's like a sleeping giant. Is that what it was?
It's just it's great to see. It's great to see all these fighters involved in big fights. We've got a great representation here in Saudi Arabia with 2 Australians, 2 New Zealanders, a Tongan Samoan, another Samoan and Jai Bataya. But it's great to see now our fighters outside of the world coming here and being involved in what's happening. You know, because boxing is on this side of the world. But again, like you said, Tim Tszyu is doing great things. Nikita Tszyu, and we just saw a good win with. So it's good. It's good. It's good to see.
You're at the forefront of it, so I'll give yourself some credit there, Joe. One final one for me. I'm buzzing to be here in Saudi Arabia. I can't wait for this whole card, man. I mean, you've got a job to do, though. Yeah. So what's going to happen on Saturday night?
I'm going to go out there, fight hard and win. That's what I'm planning. And then I'm going to fly home and see my wife and kids.
Sounds simple. You make this life sound simple. You might make me want to be a boxer, Joe, but listen, pleasure to speak to you, big man, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm fine.